It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
Who knew all the planes we flew, the things we've been through, that I'll be standing right here talking to you about another path. I know we love to hit the road and laugh, but something told me that it wouldn't last. Had to switch up, look at things different, see the bigger picture. Those were the days, hard work forever pays. Now I see you in a better place. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side, and now you gon' be with me for the last ride.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way, from where we began.
You know we started.
Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.
Let me tell you.
When I see you again.
First you both go out your way and the vibe is feeling strong, and what's small turn to a friendship turn to a bond, and that bond will never be broken, the love will never get lost. And when brotherhood come first, then the line will never be crossed. Established it on our own when that line had to be drawn, and that line is what we reach, so remember me when I'm gone. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side, and now you gon' be with me for the last ride.
Don't let the light guide your way. Yeah. Hold every memory as you go, and every road you take will always lead you home. Oh, it's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
You've been on my mind. I grow fonder every day, losing myself in time. Just thinking of your face, God only knows why it's taken me so long to let my doubts go. You're the only one that I want. I don't know why I'm scared. I've been here before. Every feeling, every word, I've imagined it all. You never know if you never try to forgive your past and simply be mine. I dare you to let me be your one and only. Promise I'm worthy to hold in your arms.
Hello. You're supposed to say hello back. This is a do-it-yourself service. I'm going to try to get through this with your help. And I have some notes here I'm going to try to read. And we're going to do this together. Thank you all for coming. And for the overwhelming support you provided us these last few days. And Aksel would be so happy to see that he has standing room only. He did indeed like lots of attention. And he certainly has it now. My name is Crystal. And we're here to celebrate Aksel. I met Aksel 7 years ago. And during that time, we laughed together. We cried together. I bailed him out of trouble more than once. I let him stand and sink on his own more than once. I spoiled him rotten. I kicked him in the butt when he needed it. I didn't birth him, but as Philomena calls me, I am the other mother. And he's left a hole in my heart, as I'm sure he did with all of us. Let me tell you about Aksel. He was a non-traditional kid. He walked his own path, and we're going to have this non-traditional service to celebrate him in his path. Once I stop rolling, we're going to go through the service. We're going to have a song chosen by Philomena and his mom. Then we're going to have a light tribute, I refuse to call a eulogy, by his brothers and his mom. Then we're going to have a reading. No, I got that backward. Anyway, the program is in your program. So I'm going to get backward. But in any event,
You're good.
that's what we're doing. I just want to say a couple more words. As many of you know, Aksel struggled with depression and a couple of other issues. And I'm going to try to get this right. Ribbons we passed out are green is the color for depression, and Project Semicolon, which is at the bottom of the ribbon, and I'm quoting, offers hope and love for those who are struggling with mental illness, suicide, addiction, and self-injury. Starting as a one-day event, when people were encouraged to post pictures of semicolon drawn on their wrists in a show of support and solidarity for people suffering from mental illness. That event was so successful, the project is ongoing, and April 16th is the annual Day of Awareness. The semicolon is the symbol because when it is used, the author could have chosen to end the sentence, but did not. The author is you, and the sentence is your life. So I beg anyone struggling to please get help. And I've already told the 3 boys I will be smothering them to make sure that they are fine through this process.
Aksel liked to read. A lot of us do, but Aksel did like to read, and he sometimes didn't like people knowing that, but he did. And one of his favorite authors, which his older brother Christian introduced him to, was Haruki Murakami, who is a great Japanese author. And Nora Masri is going to read a passage first from The Colorist Sakura Tadaki and Tales of Pilgrimage. Please go.
At one point, seated across from each other at the table, they were silent, not even searching for words, their ears drawn to the sounds of the birds outside the window. The cries of the birds made for an unusual melody. The same melody pierced the woods over and over. Our lives are like a complex musical score, Buddha thought, filled with all sorts of cryptic writing, 16th and 32nd notes, and other strange signs. It's next to impossible to correctly interpret these, and even if you could, and then could transpose them into the correct sounds, there's no guarantee that people would correctly understand or appreciate the meaning within. No guarantee it would make people happy. Why must the workings of people's lives be so convoluted? He calmed himself, shut his eyes, and fell asleep. The rear light of consciousness, like the last express train of the night, began to fade into the distance, gradually speeding up, growing smaller until it was finally sucked into the depths of the night where it disappeared. All that remained was the sound of the wind slipping through a strand of white birch trees.
Now we will have a reading from the same author, different book, one of Aksel's favorite books, I believe the first book he read from Murakami, which is called When I Talk About Running, and how we will read it.
I sent Aksel this book a little over a year ago, and I wrote him a letter inside the cover. I'm glad that it was one of his favorites. I've always done whatever I felt like doing in life. People may try to stop me and convince me I'm wrong, but I won't change. I look up at the sky and really will catch a glimpse of kindness there, but I don't. All I see are indifferent summer clouds drifting over the Pacific, and they have nothing to say to me. Clouds are always taciturn. I probably shouldn't be looking up at them. What I should be looking at is inside of me, like staring down into a deep well. Can I see kindness there? No. All I see is my own nature. My own individual, stubborn, uncooperative, often self-centered nature that still doubts itself. That when troubles occur, tries to find something funny or something nearly funny about the situation. I've carried this character around like an old suitcase, down a long, dusty path. I'm not carrying it because I like it. The contents are too heavy and it looks crummy, fraying in spots. I've carried it with me because there was nothing else I was supposed to carry. Still, I guess I have grown attached to it, as you might expect.
I'll leave it here.
Thank you, ladies. Both young ladies are from the University of Chicago, where they attend school with Christian. And now it's time for our life tribute. First, the brothers are going to come up and say some words. I'm supposed to introduce you. This is Alex Walker, the oldest Christian, the brother by blood, the middle, and Christopher Walker, now the youngest. Aksel was the youngest. He and Christopher were about 2 weeks apart.
So, as we said, Aksel was non-traditional, and he had a lot of non-traditional stuff in him. He leveled dichotomies. He was black and white, and golden mother, Danish father, born in Costa Rica, came to call Atlanta home. That's a little different. He was both a city boy and a country boy. Alexander Wang, Gucci, earrings, all that. Every time in the summer when there was these wasps, like I remember when he would live in my room and camp out there, we'd watermelon rinds everywhere. But there were these wasps that would come in the room, and every single time he would cry like a baby and run away and try and find someone to kill these wasps. But despite that, in Costa Rica, he had a favorite tree that Jakob was telling me about. He loved the mango trees, despite the hornets that live there, which are big and scary, but he still loved those mango trees. He was a city boy and he was a country boy. He was short and tall. At one point, he was the shortest, and now he was the tallest by a good deal. At one point, and I promise I will never do this again, but We were coming home from a fencing practice during the summer, and there were 7 people in the car, in like 5-seater, small Mercedes, and we were trying to get home, and I was responsible for all these kids, and I was like, okay, what am I gonna do? So we put Aksel at Christian's feet in the passenger seat. You know, like where the feet go, Aksel was there. And he was complaining the whole time. We were like, you can do it, you can do it. He was like, let me out. I was like, no, it's gonna be better if we just go straight through it and we just get home and get out. You're not gonna get on the way. We didn't take highway, I promise. He was ridiculous and he was serious. And he hated the word ridiculous. He told me about a week ago. He was like, you know, when you guys used to call me ridiculous, and that word triggers me now. And I was like, yeah. But he said he understood that why we called him ridiculous. He would wear these armbands, and he would get so many of them, they would cut off his blood circulation. He would try to convince me to no avail that test tube babies weren't real babies. He said they weren't people. And I know everyone has a story of Aksel being ridiculous, but he was also serious. When we were studying for his GED, he would tell me every day, I'm going to kill this test, Alex. I'm going to get 100% on it. And I was like, you don't need 100%, you just need to pass it. He was like, no, I'm going to get 100%. I'm going to get every single question right. We learned his fanboy rules, and he passed that test. He sure did. He got college ready, and so it was like passing, and there's college ready, and there's college ready with credit. And he got college ready in every single subject, and then college ready with credit in language arts. His math was a little rusty. But he was both invested sometimes and he was indifferent sometimes. He was invested when he and Christopher Kamar would go down the basement like 14-hour gun game marathons. He was invested when he would fight Christopher tooth and nail for the last piece of chicken. They would go upstairs, push each other, and knock each other down, get a bloody nose, and get that last piece of chicken. He would obsess over the exact wording of emails. When he wanted to email a teacher and tell them why he wasn't there, he had a fencing tournament, he would not focus on the work, but he would focus on the exact wording of the email. He would be like, should I say use this word or this word? And he would pull up a thesaurus, and I was like, what are you doing? Just write the damn email. And he would take forever to choose anything in a restaurant. When you want to order anything with Aksel, you gotta make it go first. You gotta say, Aksel, what do you want? Tell me right now, before the lady comes here to get our order, before the waiter comes here to get our order, tell us what you want. When we were going to get his phone service, a week and a half ago, we went over there and the man was like, these are different services, and we were like, we want the cheapest one. And he just goes, well. But he was also indifferent. It didn't matter who you were. It didn't matter where you came from, your religious creed, your race, or whatever you believed in, your political beliefs. He would hang out with you, for better or worse. He would hang out with you. And finally, one thing he was, unequivocally, he was our brother. And will always be 4, with Aksel as one corner of our square. A group of 4, forever, with unpicked hair. A group of 4, with such ridiculously similar names, we messed up ourselves. Un grupo de 4, unido en todo, no importa donde estemos. En este mundo o en el más allá. A group of 4, limitless, now and forevermore. Thank you.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Okay, don't leave. Don't leave. Gonna make it. Yeah.
Now, his mom's gonna come up and talk.
Hi everybody. I'm glad to see you all here, celebrating Aksel's life. We got here when Aksel was only 4 years old. He grew up here most of the time, and part of you guys have seen watching him growing up. He has one, some of you guys grew up with him, so we would like to share some memories of him with you guys. You can come and share with us at some point. We try to be able just to read just a few notes that I was able to write for him. My Aksel was one of the greatest love of my life. His smile, his heart, his genuine kindness, his life all made me realize how being a mother was what I was made for. All of his qualities made me so proud. He was one of my best friends. He did not supposed to be our friend, but he was special. He always amused me, even when he told me the best dirty jokes. They are too personal to share with you now. I just love how much he was so comfortable with me and how much he loved to entertain me. We were so in sync, he and I swear sometimes he would read my mind. One time he told me, "Mom, it freaks me out that you knows what I'm thinking, not what I have in my mind." He always complimented me, told me what great shape I was in, how stylish and beautiful I looked. It made it so hard for other men because he gave me such incredible attention. Talking about that, he was a couple of weeks working in a cafe and he came back home, "Mommy, I find someone just right for you. But just wait, I will have opportunity to get to know him better before I introduce you." My Aksel was such a charmer. He made me smile and feel so happy. One of the sweetest, most annoying things about him was his hair. I was always trying to get him to cut his hair, to wear it a certain way, but boy, he had an idea of his own about how we want to wear or style his hair. I'm sure you all saw in brochure. I never understood or agreed with his hair choices, but as you can see, that was what made him Aksel. And all in all, that was one of the things that made me respect and adore him more. He had his own sense of style. Only he could pull off all those crazy hairstyles and look so stunning. I am so glad he never did cut his hair. Another thing that I admire about this beautiful boy of mine was how easily and deeply he connected with people, no matter how old or young. If they were men or women, he had his way connecting and sympathizing with people and making them feel special, like he had known them forever and that he really cared about and understood them. My friends always told me how impressive, intelligent, charismatic, and easy to talk to he was. That always melted my heart. He was such a good boy, such a beautiful and a wonderful son, beautiful person and friend. The world will not be the same without his bright and sunshine heart and light. I was the lucky one being his mother. I absolutely believe he was an angel and a gift that I will treasure for the rest of my life. I also want to express how much gratitude I have for everyone who has supported me throughout those last few years. And now with all the love, kindness, and generosity you have shown to me. I especially want to acknowledge the Walker family who have opened their home and their hearts to accommodate my kids and me. Thank you for making a difference in our lives. Me and my children cannot express enough how much you love and you support have impacted our journey and changed our life for the better. I know if Aksel was alive, he would want me to tell you that, although he was not born into your family, the love, the trust, and the gratitude I feel for each one of you is a precious gift that I have always cherished and carry you with me until I take my last breath. I think that's what I said. I'm so sorry. If I start speaking, lost this year, you are really gonna be lost. Hang out with me, yeah. I love you, Walker family. You are my family. There are so many people that I truly need to know how much you have impacted our lives. Maestro and all the coaches, Dr. Jeff Smith, Jesse Granger, Samir, Eugene, David Duville, Stephanie Blackmon, all of you did for Aksel's Fences, all of you did for Aksel's Fencing is beyond words. To the most wonderful staff of the medical examiner's office, I would like, to the bottom of my heart, thank you for all the constant support, love, and understanding in my journey with my kids. To all my family abroad and here, thank you for the bottom of my heart. A special thanks to the people in my support group, FA Family Anonymous. You are now part of my family. And I, with all my heart, appreciate you every time that you stood for me since this happened. And I really rely on your support. Appreciate you. Thank you, my beloved family from Virginia Highlands. You know who you are. You have been with me since I came to Atlanta. So many beautiful and wonderful people. I would like to thank you. I'm sorry if I have left anyone behind. I want to have a special thanks to Bonnie, a special thanks to Sarah. I have someone else, but I'm forgetting. I only put some of the notes. Thank you for Isogelo, you know. Karina, thank you very much. Jayden, you guys are all my family. My family in my country have always asked me, why you don't come home? I have always thought, I have home, I found home, I have family here. They may be a little jealous why I'm not home. I just want them to know, not to be concerned. I trust that you guys, and I do appreciate with all my love, all the support of those years. Thank you all. Okay. I just have, I think one more thank you, and that's to my core family. You were always with me through thick and thin, and I appreciate you. And then I'd like to give a special thanks to everyone who's here and who donated to the GoFundMe account. We really, really, really appreciate it. Now, it's your turn. We've stood, we've said some things. We would like anyone who has shared a memory with Aksel to come please share it with all of us. But before we start, our musical selection was a little bit not working right. I would like to ask Reggie Johnson to please come up and sing us a song, any song, please. Reggie is the father of one of the fencing ladies, and she is currently traveling to France. And she has a beautiful voice and couldn't be here to sing with us, so I'm asking Reggie to do it, please. Thank you.
For all
this moment sweet again. We won't say goodnight until the last minute. I'll hold out my hand, and my heart will be in it. For all we know, this may only be a dream. We come and we go like the ripples of a stream. So we love you tonight. Tomorrow may never come. Tomorrow may never come. For all we know.
Give it up. I didn't know I was going to ask that. That was beautiful. Okay, the price is right. Come on down. Who's the first to share a story about Aksel? Come on, somebody. I'm gonna call on somebody if you don't come. Okay, Mary, price is right. You're up.
Can I just stand right here?
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. The boys are always, I'm so grateful that I've been introduced to the family. I love Crystal and her family. The boys in their fencing, there's this one particular trip that we took, and Aksel, two things he did on two trips we went on. One is we spent hours in the mall shopping one day, but we were here at Premier Mall, and we were like, he's like, so what do you think about this, Mary? He said, hot, or what do you think? And I was like, yeah, I think it's okay, Aksel's kind of cool, but he had me in that mall for like 4 hours. So we were just shopping, just nonsense and shopping together. And then on the fencing trip, we were sharing a room together, and we were just up talking. I had a great time with the boys, because listening to them chit-chat about the things that they chit-chat about. And Aksel was just very funny to me, because he was like, so what do you think about this, Mary? You think I could do this? What do you think about this? And I was like, I don't know, Aksel. And I happened to drift off to sleep, but then I woke up, and he was standing over me. I said, what are you doing, silly boy? He said, oh, I'm looking for the remote, because he said I was snoring too loud, and he wanted to turn the volume on. So that's just one of the funny stories we have.
Thank you, Mary. Okay, come on. Next up. This is a thank you.
So I've got
What's your name?
I'm Mike.
Mike.
I'm one of Aksel's friends. I met him a few years ago. Got a short but sweet story. Aksel had one thing, he loved to play video games, and he often hid that from people. And he often hid that from people, and I mean, so did I. We both didn't like other people knowing, because we thought it was both kind of dirty. And I just remember one night, me and Aksel were talking in school, and it was like Friday night, and we got home, we FaceTime, and we just hop on, we played Dark Souls 2, and we just ended up playing that. We stood up all night, we were just talking, having fun, and that's something I would cherish growing up.
I don't know what Dark Souls 2 is, but.
Max's favorite games.
All right, Jeff, come on down. Thank you. She's coming on down.
So the memory I want to share of Aksel is from the first time I met him, actually. I'm Karina, I'm one of his very close friends, and so I didn't know Aksel very long, but our time together, the time I did know him, it was really profound. You know, we spent a lot of time together, but I guess this first night I met him, I was kind of hanging out around my neighborhood with my sister, and I had been talking with him online, you know, I had known him through a mutual friend, so I knew who he was, and suddenly I see him in the room I'm in, and I remember thinking, oh, like, I want to go up to him, I want to talk to him, but he was there with his friends, and I just remember thinking, kind of hesitating, you know, what if he didn't know me, what if he didn't recognize me, what if he didn't want to see me with his friends and everything, so I remember walking up to him and he had his back turned towards me, and I kind of tapped him on the shoulder, and I'll never forget, he turned around and his eyes kind of lit up, and he just gave me this beautiful, radiant smile. It was so genuine, and in that moment, just kind of all of my hesitation, every worry I had just kind of melted away, and that was just a really sweet moment that I'm never going to forget. I'm never going to forget his genuine, beautiful smile that I got to see so many times after that, and I'll just never forget Aksel, and it's one of the many reasons why I loved him so much.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I had the opportunity to meet Aksel when he started his second grade at Morningside with my sons. I had moved from the south side of Atlanta with my partner, with my children. I had 2 sons. For me at that time, it was actually it was very difficult because I was scared. But I met Aksel's mom, and we met each other at the bus stop. And her beautiful smile, and you know, she greeted me with this warmth that I really needed. And from that moment, she's like, we gotta get the kids together. And I'm like, yeah, we gotta get the kids together. Because Christian was the same age as my oldest son, and Aksel was the same age as my youngest son. So we kept talking like, we're gonna get them together. We would meet at the bus stop, and just the warmth and your smile just always just gave me encouragement, because at that time, maybe you didn't know it, but I needed that encouragement because I was going through some stuff myself just organically, Jaden, who was my youngest son, and Aksel became really good friends. They became friends at Inman. And so Aksel started coming by the house, and would spend the night. And he was just a great kid. I mean, he really was. He was really a good kid. Always had a smile on his face. He was just a good kid. So, I got to, know him better, and, he was hanging out with Jaden. And I guess the last time I had the experience of actually having a conversation with him was when he was in Savannah. And, you know, we drove over there to visit him. And I had the opportunity to talk to him for a couple of hours. And, you know, I was really surprised at his candor and what he shared with me. And I was hopeful. I was really hopeful at that time for him. He left there, and I asked Jaden periodically how he was doing. And but I guess what I want to really say about him is he was a good kid. His future was just exponential. I mean, he had so much going on for him. So, I'm really sad that I'm here today to say, goodbye to him. But, and I think everybody knows, the smile, the energy, it was intense. And so, I'm gonna miss him. Sorry he's gone. And, I loved it. I really did. I'm gonna miss him.
I didn't really think I would be able to speak in front of everybody. But there's one memory I guess I want to share that I had with Aksel. It was when we used to live in the Virginia Islands, and we were like, I don't know, I was probably like 9 or something. He was like 7, I guess. And we were on the second floor, my mom was downstairs. And she was like, don't do anything stupid while you're up there. So, of course, me and Aksel, we were just like super bored. And we come up with this great game where there's like these 2 couches right next to each, like cross facing each other. And we're like, okay, we should like jump across these and decide. I don't know what exactly is going on, but we decided to jump across these. And so we're doing this, and we're having like a great time, we're like laughing, like screaming, I don't know, doing children things. And somehow we both end up on the ground, and we look up at each other, and he sees me and starts crying because I have blood dripping down my head. And then I look at him and I start crying because his tooth is chipped. So just like screaming. And my mom comes upstairs and then she starts freaking out. So we left us for like 2 seconds. I'm bleeding down my head and Aksel has a chipped tooth. So we ended up not knowing what to do, and since my mom was a nurse at the time, we decided we didn't really, no one could take us anywhere, so we had to walk all the way to the nurse's office, and we get there, like they glue my head back together, and Axel's like still crying, and then we go to the dentist, it's like all okay, but I guess I just wanted to tell the story because now, like every time I look in the mirror, I can see like this little scar and like feel it from where his tooth snapped on my head. So yeah, and just thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it, and it means a lot that you're here for our family, and that you guys are all our family. So thank you. Also, more people should come up and tell stories. If you'd like to.
Hi everybody, my name is Aksel. I had the great fortune of meeting Philo when she came to get her hair done, and she said, I said, Philo, I said, hey, it's great to meet another African over here. I said, and she said, yeah. I said, where are you? It's the first time I met her. She's like, I'm in Virgin Islands, and she started telling me about her family, and she said, I have 2 boys. They were both, they were 7 and 9 at the time. And she said, I'm looking for a babysitter. And I said, okay, I'll look around. And then I called her back later. I said, I'll be your babysitter. And that's how I met the boys. And I can honestly say that from the first moment I met Aksel, he became like a little brother to me. I remember my first day there, he came into my room at 5 in the morning. He opened the door and just jumped on my bed at 5 in the morning. I looked at the time, and I looked at him, and I looked at the time again. And by the time I looked back at him, he started talking about video games. And that went on every day for 2 years. 5 in the morning, Aksel would come and jump on my bed and talk about video games. So I knew, after the first month, I knew to time him. So I started timing him. And we had some great memories together. And Philo, you have been such a great, wonderful mother and friend and a big sister. And everything you've done for the boys, for Aksel and Christian and everybody around you. And I'm so glad that I met you. And I'm so glad that you opened the door to be a part of your family. And I'm really gonna miss him. I'm really, really gonna miss him. There's not a day that goes by that I don't have him, that he won't be on my mind. And Christian. And always just smiling, always quiet, but always watching and sitting there and smiling at Aksel, because he was always doing something, always. So thank you for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Aksel and I, we got into a lot of trouble. Some of it his fault, some of it mine. But one thing that through all the years that I knew him never really changed was just like this constant empathy that he had for all the people that he met. And I remember one time I was just super sick, and then as Aksel many times did, he set 18 alarms in the morning that he didn't get up to any of them. And I just wake up super sick, like about to hit the crap out of him because I'm just like trying to sleep. And then everybody's coming to check on me, everybody's going to school, and then all I wanted all day was just a hug from like somebody. Nobody would tell me. He's got snot running down his face, he's gonna die of it. And then Aksel comes down from school, comes back from school, he tosses his backpack against the wall, and then he just runs out and gives me the biggest hug. Like, I was just floored with love and affection, and then I was on the ground because he was on top of me. That's just one of my personal favorite memories with Aksel, just the empathy that he had. He didn't care. I mean, he got sick a week later. Yeah, I just wanted to share that moment. Thank you all for coming and showing your support.
I was lucky enough to meet Aksel in late August, and it did not take very long at all for him to completely just, I don't know, we didn't have a whole lot of memories because unfortunately we didn't get to spend very much time together, but I think that the most memorable thing about him was the way he made me and everyone feel. He didn't have to say anything. It was the way his eyes shined, it was the light that just surrounded him. And God, I've never had a hug that felt that good. It's like, and he was very tall. It's like his whole body wrapped around you when he touched you. I've never seen a smile that is that beautiful. Though he was in my life for a very short time, he changed me. We struggled with a lot of same things. And I like to think that we very much understood each other and that we could reach each other on that level when we needed someone. I don't know how it happened, but when we started, anytime we would see each other, I would always be like, hey, handsome. And he would say, hey, beautiful. So every text message that I had was saved. It always starts out with one or the other. And I don't know, but the way that he like lit up a room anytime he walked in, and everybody loved him so much. And I'm so lucky that I got to call him my friend.
So, I don't know if y'all know, but Aksel loved animals, and I have a little dog. And one time I gave her to him and asked him to hold her for a second. I turned around and I looked back over and he's got my dog's head in his mouth. I was like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, I do this to all animals, man. They like it. And I was like, that's not how you handle animals. Another time, he was riding a trike, and he's just like, it's got two wheels in the back, like you can't flip these things. Well, Aksel was coming around the corner and completely like wipes out in the grass, and he's like getting up, looking around, making sure no one like saw him wreck over in the corner. Like I'm sitting on a bench, like dying, because he didn't know I saw it, but I don't know, it was just hilarious. But I have a lot of good memories of Aksel, and there's not a time he was never mean to anybody. Like, he had the biggest heart, and I'll forever be grateful to have known him. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm not much of a public speaker, but Aksel definitely was. So I met this family about 3 years ago, and Christian, his friend Aksel, became my little brother. I came to Atlanta for the first time. I went to the Walker's house, and I hadn't been allowed to talk to Aksel before then because he was a weird kid. I get down here. Christopher knows not to get Aksel up in the morning. And so he sends me the new girl to wake up Aksel. So, not knowing any better, I go upstairs, climb over about 10 watermelon rinds, tap this kid on the shoulder. He sits up, swings at my face, and that was how I got to know Aksel. He was like my little brother, and we fought like he was my little brother. Last week, I picked him up from the GED and brought him to my apartment. He came to help me with fencing. I had fenced for a total of 3 months. And Aksel made sure I knew that I was the worst one he'd ever seen. He would look at my closet and tell me it was too small and my clothes weren't fancy enough. I left the room, and he got my roommate's cat and was sitting with the cat, going through my nail polish to find the red one because he said that was what was sexiest. And that brutal honesty has been the highlight of all of our conversations. And I'm gonna miss it. And I don't know that my outfits will ever be on point ever again.
Hello everyone, my name is Kayla. Wasn't really prepared to speak today, so I don't have any notes like everyone else, but I'm gonna try to not say was or anything like that because Hartsville, he's still part of everyone else today. He's in our hearts, and we know that he's just gonna be with us forever. And we were the closest, we were friends, and he always made sure that I knew, like, he was there for me, and, I was there for him and stuff, and, I was introduced to him by Gabriella, and I was like, okay, Gabby, like, it's like, once I finally got to know him, and, just encounter somebody that was so beautiful, not even from the outside, but just like inside too, just so different, like moving. So he'll definitely be missed by all of us. And even though like we weren't the closest and we didn't have the best like friendship, relationship, whatever, I just really think that he had a huge impact on me, especially. So yeah.
Hi, I'm Gabby. I met him a couple of years ago. We were sitting at a table. I don't know why I sat next to him. I was like, that kid was so weird, but I'll sit next to him. And someone called his name, said Aksel Fernandes, and I was like, I think you mean Gabby Fernandes. And he looked at me, he was like, no. And I was like, yes. So we started arguing the first time we met. I was like, Aksel, literally stop, that's my name. We're like, maybe we're cousins. I was like, okay, cool. And he was like, you need to meet my mom. I was like, why do I need to meet your mom? You just have to. And after that, we never stopped talking. And a couple days ago, actually, it was Monday, I talked to Lorena, and he was like, finally, yes. And I was like, okay, so I talked to you, and it was good. It was so funny. She was like, can you please teach this boy Portuguese? Please, do not let him talk to you in English for any circumstances. Like, I'll try. He didn't, but I tried. And he made me promise him that I'll talk to you and I'd always have a good relationship with you, and I promised him.
Thank you.
And I don't make promises. So, I'm here.
Thank you.
I just started on 6th or 7th grade with me and Jacob. We were coming home from school. We usually walk with Aksel to school, but this day he didn't come to school. So we're like, let's go check on Aksel. We go there with our backpacks, coming from school, and we're like, hey, Aksel's mom, great smile, as always. Hey, what's wrong? We're like, I just want to see what's wrong with Aksel. We were at school today. And she says, Aksel told me school is not mandatory. I mean, obviously you weren't gonna be like, oh yeah, I guess you just skipped school. So even though like, yeah, it wasn't mandatory. And then at that moment, Axel's mom just looks at us and just like closes the door. But that just shows Axel do make him get out of
Well, my name is Jenny Yang. I'm a professor at the Georgia State University. Thanks, Philomena, I have this great honor to read first question. You, the Axel, in the past a few years in the fencing club, because Axel is about the same age as my son Jesse. So I watched closely about his growth. He's such a great man. He raises great kids. Because he smiles, he's nice, he's a fencer. He takes it seriously. You know, one thing I did not tell you is at home, I often talk to Jessie. Just be Axel. Because I love smile, and I love the niceness of the human being. I'm a fencer too now. Whenever I'm sick on the fencing strip, Axel, I miss you. I also wanted to say a few great words to work for me. You know, you make us proud as fencing club parents. I watched the day I'll never forget. It was after the maybe it's Reno National Fencing Competition. It was in the park in a restaurant or in the airport. I saw Chris, and Axel surrounded you with all the medals, and hug you. I want to tell you, I wish I were you. Axel, you will always be remembered for all the friends, for all the parents, for all the friends.
Thank you.
Someone's trying to kill me. Oh.
Hi everyone. My name is Lisa, and I know Axel with fencing. I first started fencing, I was about in 6th grade, and that's when I met him. I had a little crush on him. I did. And literally went to practice just to see him. Practice on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Luckily, I went Mondays, Wednesdays. And I would sometimes occasionally ask my parents, hey, can you take me to practice on Tuesday? You know, they thought I was trying to, get better. But I'm gonna miss Axel. It was, every time I would leave practice, he'd make sure to give me a hug, and as said before, his hugs, like he really just wraps his whole body around you, and it makes you feel like so special. His fencing was like so beautiful. Like if you just watch him fence, it really stands out to you. Like his fencing is beautiful, and he was like one of the people that I couldn't get a touch on. Like I was like, wow, like he's so good, and his fencing was different, just like his personality. He loved fencing. He cared. He would always like ask me like,
how do I look good? Like, how does this look? Like, what should I do? He would always stay late after practice, like, kind of seeing Christopher and everyone. Like, it was just a lot. And just when we sit here, I just like think of even more memories about him. He's definitely had an impact on me, taught me a lot about friendship, what it means to be a friend. He's just gonna be with me forever, and I'm gonna miss him.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Tiffany. So I met actually these 4 young men about 4 years ago at your graduation party. And it, like, you were the last one. But all these tall young men kept coming to me, and I'm like, hello, hello, happy graduation. They're like, no, it's not me graduating. So fast forward to 4 years ago, I hadn't seen Aksel in a while. And I'm sitting at work last Friday. Busy day, stressful day because we were closing open enrollment. And out of the corner of my eye, I see this tall kid with a huge grin coming my way. And I look up and I'm like, and I was like, oh my God, Aksel. Stand up out of my chair, trip over my little heater that I had because it was cold. And just, he gave me this, huge hug. And I smiled. So we went down to Mary's office. Mary's my boss, Crystal's my boss. And we were packing up her office. And I'm sitting working on the floor. And it's going to date me because I'm not old, but it's going to make me sound old. He had trap music playing. And I was like, why you listen to this? This is just nonsense. And he's like, no, listen to the music. I was like, well, I like the beat. But I can't, I'm trying to listen, I can't understand. He's like, no, this is one of my favorite songs. But, he did have an infectious smile, and he was just an angel. And I will always take that hug, and he made my stresses of the day wash away. And I'm so glad he came to the office to say hi.
We have another speaker coming up, but that's Tiffany, and she works at Fleet Corps, and Aksel once asked me if I thought it was appropriate for him to date an older woman. I said, well, maybe. How old? And he said, well, how old is Tiffany? I said, well, I go to town now.
My name is Roger Zhao, and I'm the Raymond Law's father, and I'm here for a lot of the parents of the fencing club. And since the first day when Aksel comes to the fencing club, we become like a family. And my kids, Raymond Zhao, with Christian and Christopher and Alice, they were like very close friends and actually a brother. And yesterday there was a home competition of the UPenn. There's many friends over there, Raymond Zhao and his son and Lark. And I asked Raymond, how did you guys do? He said, terrible. I was asking what was the reason. He said, you know that. Actually, Raymond could not handle it himself, and he totally crashed. And when he received this message. And I've been travel a lot with those kids, especially Aksel, and we go to different cities of the United States, and we went to Europe together for World Championship and World Cup fencing competition. Aksel did very, very good. Aksel's fencing style is very beautiful. And his best achievement actually was in 2018 Junior Olympics, and the four of them, Christopher, Kamar, Raymond, and Aksel, they won gold medal as a team at the Junior Olympics for junior competition. So this is a very great competition, very great experience, and a very great achievement. So I'm here also for Raymond, say goodbye to his best friend and brother, and hope everybody with me together, and we feel he will be always in our heart. I love Aksel.
So the team that Roger is referring to is called the Crusty Crushers, and they have fenced the four of them together since they were 14. And somebody, if I'm not mistaken, I believe they won every team event that they fenced. Is that right, Christopher? Yes, they did. Yes, they did. It took all four of them to do it. And this past summer, they were going to have the last hurrah as the Crusty Crushers, and Aksel could not be there. Raymond was hurt. Kamar was hurt. So Christopher was the only man standing, the Crusty Crushers. So.
Hello everyone. I've been kind of pacing back and forth whether or not I was going to say anything. I'm Jesse Granger. I'm one of Aksel's old fencing coaches, and I can attest to all of them being crusty when they were 14. I'm more than a coach. I feel more than a coach to Aksel because our relationship extended past the fencing strip, extended past the gym. I was a young man. I was about in my early 20s when I met Aksel, and it became, with his family, it was a mutually beneficial relationship. I was able to also take Aksel and Christian, his older brother, to prom fencing, and in return, Philomena would prepare this young 20-something-year-old wonderful home-cooked dinner, as I lived alone in a bachelor pad about 2 blocks away. So we really got to know each other over the course of a few years. As everyone has said today, there was a lot to him. He was kind, of course, empathic, intense, earnest, sometimes naive. I remember one specific instance. It was, I believe, a Saturday morning practice, and Aksel was sitting in the car with me. He was about 13 years old, and driving from his home in Midtown Atlanta to fencing, he was bragging about all the hotties that he had spoken to last night at Piedmont Park. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, well, there's this big festival going on. And there's so many ladies. And I was just talking to all of them. And I looked at him and I said, Aksel, it's gay pride. And I mean, completely unfazed. Something I remember within the first month I met Aksel and I was having dinner with his family, and he walked me outside. It was around 9 o'clock. I was headed back home to my apartment, and he grabbed me by the hand and he looked at me very seriously and he said, you know, you've been in our home, you eat our food, and that means that you're now my brother, and I love you in just the most serious way. And I remember just being so taken aback by just my heart swelling at this child who could express his emotions so clearly and so succinctly that, I mean, it's rare to see an adult man, much less a child, be able to speak in such a way. And he always told me, you know, it was effortless for him to say, I love you at any given moment. I also want to acknowledge the fact that When somebody has such a bright light, they also carry around a lot of pain, often a lot of darkness. Aksel also had no problem sharing that either. And I just think about how sometimes how it's so hard to talk about pain. And also how it's so hard to sometimes be there for somebody who's talking about pain. And Aksel, in every moment of his life, connecting with people and forging relationships was second nature to him in a way that we should all be envious of. And I was thinking about if there's any possible way to sum this up, and it comes from a quote that a very dear person shared with me. It's from the novel Howard's by Ian Forrester, and it's an urgent epigraph at the end. It says, "Only connect. Live in fragments no longer, only connect." You know, Aksel connected to us all. He helped us form our own connections, and I'm just so grateful for him for that, and what I will bring and take in my life moving forward. And that's all.
Hello, everybody. My name is Daniel, and I didn't know Aksel directly. It's sort of a 6 degrees of separation type thing. Although I do look at this photo of him and I feel like I know him on an intimate level, that smile is incredible. Aksel was a special person. There's no question about that. His ability to speak his inner truth is something that I've struggled with in the past. And it's something that I've been working towards every day. And moving forward, when I find myself at a crossroad with a decision or some sort of event that I have to make a choice on, I'm going to think of this young man and his courage to speak his inner truth, especially in a society that we live in. I mean, how special is that? To be able to go against the grain with all these eyes looking at you, trying to say one thing, and this young man has the ability to say the opposite. I find that so special. And I hope if we learn anything today, it's that you can speak your inner truth and you can be the person that you want to be. And if you find yourself struggling to find that person inside of you, just think of this young man. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Remy. I've had the pleasure of knowing Aksel for the past 4 years. I don't have all that much to say, but I just wanted to get up here. Aksel has really, really left a special place in my heart. He will always have that place in my heart. I had art class with him sophomore year of community over there, and he just, every day we walk in, he's the one person that anytime I saw, no matter what I was going through, how I was feeling, he automatically put a smile on my face, no matter what. And he would give, as everyone said, the biggest hugs, and I'm 5'2", and he's like really tall. And so he really did just like take over, and he, I mean, always will have the biggest place in my heart. And I'm lucky enough to have been someone that he was able to talk to and open up to, and I will forever be grateful for that. He shared so much emotion and knowledge with me, and I'm so, so glad that I've been able to know him, and I will never forget him.
I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to get through this, but I might ask someone to read it for me. My name is Karen Dudley, and I'm the mom of one of the Vincents, Kamarski. Kamar can't be here. He's traveling. One of the really painful part of this is that many of them that are so close are scattered around the world right now. Kamar, Christopher, Raymond, Aksel were the crusty crushers, and if they all can convince none of them not to do it. Aksel would always come up to me, give me great big hugs and smiles, and sometimes I knew some of the things he was asking me to do weren't quite right, but I would do it because I did it for all the kids, and everybody knew it, you know. I would do something, and he was talking, and say, "Well, why did you do that?" Because he asked me to. It's just always going to be around. They were best friends, and will always be the best friends. And when I read this, I kind of thought about them. And he was in California, and he was like, "I'm going to go visit Aksel." This past time, he was like, "I want Aksel friends with us." And when he came home this time, he was like, "I'm going to go friends with Aksel." This is a friendship poem, and it just sums up the friendship that I saw with them growing up. Because you call me a friend, I will give you a big hug anytime. Because you call me a friend, I will hold you.
Because you call me a friend, I will hold your hand when you need help. Because you call me a friend, I will wipe away your tears when you cry. Because you call me a friend, I will make you smile when you are down. Because you call me a friend, I will help you up when you stumble. Because you call me a friend, I will listen when nobody else will listen. Because you call me a friend, I will not judge you. Because you call me a friend, and when you are mean to me, I will forgive you. Because you call me a friend, my friend, you are my crutch when I cannot walk, my eyes when I cannot see through the smoke, my eyes when I cannot hear the truth, my ears when I cannot hear the truth. That's why I'm your friend.
Hello, everybody. Philomena. Jacob, Christian. Oh my gosh, you're a man! My name is Jennifer Harding. Forgive me to introduce myself. Aksel, you little rascal. I knew Aksel and Christian and the family. In 2005, I worked in the Virginia Highlands area, and oh my God, you're so beautiful! You're so beautiful! I haven't seen them for a while, and I got this news. I'm a person who I feel that you can make anything positive out of any negative situation, no matter how sad and negative it is. So, unfortunately, we're joining all today because Aksel, you passed away. We will all miss you, but you lived through all of us. And the fact that everyone is here in love and, you really inspired people to come up and talk. It's wonderful to hear everybody. If you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. It's bittersweet to see you all for the first time in so many times. I haven't been able to say hello right now. But I want to say thank you to Philomena and thank you, Jacob, for bringing this boy into the world. Aksel will be remembered through all of us. And Christian, thank you for being his brother and being here. And thank you all for being here. So I'm going to wrap it up and I'm going to go give him a squeeze. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mia. I'm lucky to have been one of Aksel's close friends the past couple of years, and I'm lucky to have had so many memories with him, but one memory that really stood out to me was when I first met him. I think we all probably have unique stories of when we first met Aksel. Mine was my best friend and I, we were leaving school and we were going to go get our nails done, and for some reason we saw Aksel and his friend just standing on the sidewalk, and I had no idea who he was this big, and I really don't know why, but we rolled down our windows and we were asking what they were doing standing there, and they were just like, oh, we're just here, we're not doing anything, we're bored, and we asked them if they wanted to go get their nails done with us, and they agreed, and we're not that usually spontaneous to just ask random people to come get their nails done with us, but for some reason they came. And I remember we were sitting down and Aksel went and walked over next door and he was showing us all these songs in the car on the way there. I had literally no idea who he was. I was like, wait, what's your name again? And I remember he went and got a hot dog and came to the nail salon and just ate his hot dog and watched us get our nails done. And he was telling us all about his life, and it was really cool how open he was. And I remember we went back to school and I dropped him off with his friend. And his friend left, and then I realized he was still standing there, and I was like, do you need a ride home? And he was like, yeah. So I took him home, and I spent 6 hours talking to him, because he just shared everything, and I remember he was like telling me all about his life and his friends, and he told me about Christopher, Christian and Alex, and I was really confused because I was like, wait, 2 families? And then I remember he was like so scared to tell me that he fenced, and I was like, what the heck? That's so cool, and he finally told me. And then when he told me literally everything about fencing, like all the rules, and I was just so lost. And I was like, okay. And then I looked at the clock and it was 1 a.m. And I was like, okay, well, I'm tired. And I knew he never slept. Like, the hours he slept were so weird. And I remember getting home and I called her and I was like, oh, I just talked to Aksel for 6 hours and I just met him today. And I don't know, he was someone really cool and really open. And I'm so glad he went and got a nails done with us, because he was there for me whenever I needed him, even though he was going through it. He always asked me how I was, and I'll never forget him.
Hey, I'm Becky. I'm just gonna keep it kind of short, but I'm sure everyone knows, but he had so many friends, and friend wasn't a light word to him. Anyone he knew and anyone he encountered, he loved them so much and cared about them so much. And like Mia said, he would always ask you how you were. And as we discussed, he went through everything back and forth. And no matter what he was going through, he would always make sure you were okay. And make sure that everything was going well in your life, and make sure that he knew that you were there for him. And I'm so lucky and so grateful to have been a friend to him, for him to be a friend to me, and I'll always remember him.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Blackman, and I have the pleasure of knowing these young men before they were David's height. And for those of you who know David Duville, he's not very tall. And so Aksel was shorter than David when I first met him, and that was quite fun. He loved getting taller than David. That was wonderful. That was a great day when they stood toe-to-toe and he had him. But I do want to say, I want to speak to Christian. We had the pleasure of taking Christian to his very first Dairy Queen. Somewhere in middle America, Ohio, I don't know where it was, but he said, I've never had a Dairy Queen, and we were shocked. So we pulled in some random Dairy Queen, and we had Dairy Queen. So I promise today that I will share a Dairy Queen for Aksel. But most importantly, I wanted to share, especially for Christian and everyone else, but I'm going to make sure that Aksel's story is told, the whole story, all of it, on Friday. I'm a teacher, and I shared Aksel's picture on the screen, and I talked to my classes, and I talked to the lovely human that he is and will continue continue to be in our hearts. And I want you to know that he will not be forgotten. I think that's very hard sometimes to think that this day ends and we all move on and life carries on and your world will never be the same. Our worlds will never be the same. And I want you to know that we'll continue that. Mitch Abram to me says it best, and he's pretty good at this stuff and I'm not. But he did say, and I really speak to you, Christian, as well, is death ends a life but not a relationship. And he will not end the relationship with us. We cherish everything that he brought to us when he was here, and we will cherish everything that he brought to us when he is not here, but he will always be in our hearts. And we appreciate you and we love you even after all these people leave. Please know that we still think of you and will think of you often. It was a pleasure to know him and continue to spread all the good that he brought to everyone around us. Thank you so much.